Greetings people, it's Jared here, Wolfgang1, back to do another Transformer review. So this one has been requested by SpiderFan UK, and it's actually been requested by a couple of people actually. And I keep saying, oh yeah, I'll get around to it, and I always forget, so I thought I'd get this one out of the way, because this toy is just fucking mental. I don't even know where to begin with it, and I think I think the review is gonna highlight that. So this is a figure that I got as a present a few years ago from a friend of mine, Helen. And I've still got it in box and everything like that, which you'll see in the review. Again, I'm sort of lost for words now because of how utterly ridiculous this toy is. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a review for the only one of this line that I own. This is a review for Generation 2 Megatron. Right, so here is Generation 2 Megatron in his box. Let's get this out of the way now. This thing is ludicrous. Absolutely, utterly ridiculous. If you thought scale in G1 was an issue, they've fucking gone balls to the wall and jumped right off ship with this one, because this is supposed to be the primary antagonist against G2 Optimus Prime, which was just a reissue of Generation 1 Prime. And I do have a Generation 1 Prime to hand, so I will do a size comparison in robot mode when we get to it. In terms of accessories, he would have come with some missiles that would have launched, loaded into his primary cannon, and he would have come with a little handheld weapon which attached to the alt mode. Now, I don't have the accessories. I thought I had the handheld weapon, but I don't. But it wouldn't have been too dissimilar from this one here, so I'm just going to use the one from War for Cybertron Prime when I get to it. The box is in semi-okay condition. The figure, unfortunately, is broken. I'm going to get to that in just a minute. I didn't realise until before I started doing this review that there's an issue with it, which I'll come on to later. Now, that might have been caused by a move or whatever the case may be. Yeah, the box is massive. The figure is massive. It's fucking ridiculous as fuck. There's some artwork on the side and all the blurb on the back. Yeah, it's a little bit of bio just up here. Megatron, the ultimate tyrant, his genius and greed fuel his desire for absolute supremacy, and so he leads the Decepticons in a battle to overcome his arch enemies, the Autobots. Armed with lasers and missiles, he fights for control, and in tank mode is an impenetrable force using cannons and explosives to invade the Autobots' territory. So he is an impenetrable force. Yeah, well, that's how very good for him. Yeah, not a hell of a lot to say about it in the box, right? Because obviously you're looking at the box, it's taking up the entire frame of my camera, and it's ludicrous as fuck. The box is ridiculous. The toy is ridiculous in terms of its size. It's hilarious. It's awesome, but it's fucking like, what the fuck are you doing? Now this was a present. This was a birthday present to me from Helen Worley, Helen the Melon 6. I think she's still got a YouTube channel, and that's what she called herself on it. She got me this a couple of years ago. I can't remember if it was from a convention or where the fuck she picked it up from, but yeah, this was a birthday present to me. And yeah, and it's great. I love it. I shouldn't love it because it is fucking beyond stupid. But yeah, so there we are. That's him in his box. So let's cut this bullshit here and get straight on into the figure itself. Right, okay, here is Generation 2 Megatron in his alt mode. Again, taking up the whole of my camera. Here, I'm going to see if I can pan back just a little bit. I don't really like to show the boundaries, the size of my display area, but my review area, but fuck it. There's a little bit of dust on this. I tried getting off. That obviously didn't work. Now, so it turns into a camouflage tank, right? Obviously, I mean, look at this thing, it's ridiculous. This little section just here, what does it say? There's a little sticker there that says, "Caution, stand clear of this area." The rest of the tank, right? The rest of the tank you can stand by, no problem at all, right? It's just that one particular area that they don't want you to have any involvement in. The turret doesn't turn around, unfortunately. This is where you would have loaded the missiles in, so you flip that up, put the missiles in there, close that back up, but this doesn't stay tabbed in, this little missile thing doesn't stay tabbed in. And there's a button at the back that is spring loaded. Bang, 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 bang. Okay. I guess his handheld weapon would have gone in the side just like that. If you were that way inclined. But let's just take that out for the time. It doesn't really fit in there very well, so I might not use that for the robot mode. Talking about that size comparison, ladies and gentlemen. So there is Megatron in his alt mode, and here is Generation 1 Prime, right? As he would have gone up against G2 Prime. That's what we're dealing with here, right? That's now the size comparison comes into its own when we get to the robot mode. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Some paint on the wheels, like the treads here. The camo's decent. They had a little bit of stickage, but not a massive amount. Come around to the back. I thought this section here was supposed to tab in somehow, but apparently it doesn't. It looks like there's grooves for it, but it doesn't tab in. So that spent me like sort of trying to work out what the fuck I was doing wrong with it, and it turns out it was nothing at all. So yeah, this is yeah. I mean, I really don't know what to say about this. Oh, hang on, maybe the gun was supposed to go up there. Aha! Look at that little gun in the top there. For like, in fact, that's not a bad idea, because you could have that sort of like that, and then the gun can transform and fire. So yeah, whatever. Now, as I said, my one is broken, and as you notice, this flap here isn't staying down where his head is, and that's because on the hinge just here, you can probably see the stress fracture. That's a clean break right there. It took me a little while to work out what was going on, but yeah, the hinge there is broken, so the actual flap won't stay down, which is a shame, because if it was fine, it would have been like that. Okay, but as a result, yeah, that's what's happening. So yeah, the alt mode is fucking massive. The robot mode, weirdly enough, is also of a considerable size. I'm not sure what to say about it. Maybe some turning on the turret would have been nice, but I guess the way everything disconnects and everything like that, then that's not impossible. That's not possible due to the engineering on this guy. Yeah, there's not really a hell of a lot else to say about the tank mode other than it's purple, it's green, it's massive, and it's fucking ridiculous. So, despite that, I think it's pretty cool. I really do. This is the only G2 figure I own. And based off this, as much as I love it, I don't really feel the need to start investing in the G2 line. I've got barely enough from my G1s and all the other shit I've got. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is G2 Megatron in his alt mode. Let's take him to robot mode, okay? How do we do that? So start by taking these sections here, right? Let's just fold those out to the sides, just like that, okay? And you can see that's obviously where his hands are and everything like that. Then we're gonna separate the tank just like this, and then open up this section just here on both sides, and then fold out just like this, okay? Lock the knees into place in the little tabs and ports provided. 1, 2. Close up the back panels, just like that. And then these tiny little tabs here are going to be his feet, apparently, right? Yeah. And then we bring this entire section back on its hinge and then clip it into place. Port and post mechanism just here, okay? One there. And that one there. Okay, now I'm going to stand him up. So for this, I'm going to have to bring the camera right back. And that still wasn't enough. Brilliant. Okay. Right, so as you can see, the head section is almost completely up. So let's just bring the arms down. Fold these sections forward. Like that. Bend him at the elbow if you want. And then this cannon, slide it to the side, and then the head will automatically pop up, okay? Yeah, this is not fucking easy, right? Let's put him back there. Okay, that fucking hell, this is more difficult than I thought it was going to be. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is Generation 2 Megatron. Now, I'm going to give him his little weapon for the sake of giving him a little weapon, all right? And that's pretty much how big the gun was originally. Come on, focus, you fucker. Yeah, there's not really a lot. I'm not sure I'm doing this review justice, to be perfectly honest with you. Let's get the light up. Let's bring the camera up so you can see him. That is Generation 2 Megatron. He redefines the term brick, I think, quite frankly. There really is a lot of brickage going on here. It's got a fantastic... His head sculpt is absolutely amazing. Hang on, let's see if I can get a decent shot with lighting just there. This is the most unprofessional review I've done in quite some time. There we are. Look, that head sculpt there is quintessentially Megatron. It's absolutely fantastic. But because this section just here is broken, right, this panel here doesn't flip up automatically, so now he's got a whopping great hole in his fucking chest. Yeah, that is ridiculous. He is insane. He's insane in terms of his height. A massive, massive toy that has virtually no articulation and no payoff whatsoever, but it's still absolutely incredible. Now, I'm going to take this back a little bit more. Too much, but whatever. So there's Megatron, ladies and gentlemen. Take him for what you will. Let's take G1 Prime just here. Transform him. I'm not going to bother putting his hands in or anything like that. But that's the scale they expected you to play with for G2. Too much. It's way too much. It's I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. This is he's cool. If you're into G2, right? If you want a G2, then go ahead and get a G2 and G2 Megatron. He was, as I say, a birthday present to me. Thank you so much, Helen, for this. But I will not be investing any more in the G2 line. this thing I think is my first and only foray into that. Yeah, it's stopped. The buck stops here, quite frankly. He is cool. I mean, the sculpting on him is fantastic. I can see why they've revisited the deco and the overall aesthetic and things like that for like sort of repaints and things from like the Siege line and like whatever else. But in terms of this, I mean, look, his massive, massive legs just here, right? With these dinky, tiny little feet at the bottom. I mean, just what the fuck? Great head sculpt. As I said, I love the head sculpt. But his arms move around a 360. His arms bend the bicep. And I guess they spin around a 360 as well. That's the articulation that you're getting with this guy, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not even getting him. I'm still not getting him in full frame of the camera. So God knows how I'm going to do this. His photo album for Facebook. But ladies and gentlemen, that is. I don't know what to say. I really don't. That's Generation 2 Megatron, ladies and gentlemen. Do I like him? Yes. Is he utterly ridiculous? Without a shadow of a doubt. Would I recommend him? I honestly don't know. I don't know. If big, bulky, blocky, chunky bots is your thing, snap him up. If you think that 10 square inches of space could be better served with something else, then do as you will. Yeah, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. That is my review. Have I actually reviewed him though? That's the thing. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. I really am. So that was my review, such as it was, of Generation 2 Megatron, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope you enjoyed this. This is Gerard Gavenboat, also known as Wolfgang1, saying I'll be back next week with other shit, more reviews, more this, more that. Yeah, for a moment though, just take a moment just to bask in the dubious glory that is Generation 2 Megatron. What? Yeah, there we are. So thank you for watching this, and I'll see you soon. Until then, take care. And when tomorrow comes, I feel you laying by me, like you ain't got nowhere else to go.